We are going to talk about what happens down there as we get older, ladies. That is right. Our whole body changes as we age, and also down there changes as well. Some of these changes might be, you might be like, okay, whatever. Some of these changes might cause a little bit of an issue, or you might have questions about. Other changes might actually be pleasant. You never know. I'm going to go through some of the changes that we experience as we age because down there is just as important as every other part of our body. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. I'm a practicing family physician and on-air health expert and video creator. I do daily videos on all sorts of health topics. I've been in practice for a number of years, and women's health is something that I have done for years as well. PAPs and all that good stuff. So let's talk about the vag, or kind of down there, which does encompass more than just the vagina, the vulva, etc., etc. So one of the things that happens, let's start with hair. We're going to sort of ease our way into this, okay? Hair. For those of you who have gotten older, as I have, you might have noticed that you might have some gray hairs. And it could be actually shocking at first when you see it, but just know that, of course, this is natural and normal, right? We get gray hairs in other parts of our body, gray hairs on our chins, gray hairs on our heads. It can also happen down there as well. So when you start to see, or if you start to see gray hairs, don't flip out. It's okay. But something that you might actually find delightful as you age is sometimes with our hair. Another change that we often see is that our hair actually sort of gets thinner. We have less. And by the way, if you're one of these people that kind of likes to keep it bare down there, rhymes, bare down there. This actually might be a nice change, and it might kind of save you some work in the long run. So not such a bad thing. So thinning hair, a little bit less hair, also graying hair can happen. But let's actually talk about the vagina, the labia. It's kind of like the lips around the vagina, etc. Okay. First of all, one of the things you probably know about is vaginal dryness, which is something that tends to happen to a lot of women. A lot of women are concerned about this, have this, because it can create problems with sexual function and other things. Vaginal dryness is something that happens to a lot of people. And it's really because as we age, our estrogen sort of decreases. Now, ladies, there are things you can do about this. Talk to your doctor, talk to your GYN, because there are things that we can do to help you with this. But vaginal dryness, yes, is something that tends to happen. But also, kind of along those lines, is that when we sort of see the physiologic changes of the vagina, you can also get your vaginal lining can become thinner and less elastic, okay? It just doesn't kind of do what it used to do. Thinner and less elastic is probably the best way to say it. That comes with age. That comes with our age as well. And sort of along those lines too, when we think about our labia, well, first of all, so the labia are like the lips, but think about what happens to your face as we get older. As we get older, our face kind of, I don't want to say it drops. That's not like motivational, is it? But our face changes, right? Sometimes we notice things get looser, right? Well, things get looser at our skin in different parts of our body as well. We notice maybe looser skin on our arms and other parts. It can happen down there too. So even though there may be some thinness and less elasticity, the skin can actually, on the labia part of our down there parts, can actually become looser. And that has to do with loss of collagen and elastin and things like that, okay? By the way, there are surgeries to fix that. If you're interested in kind of getting that fixed up, there are things, rejuvenation stuff that people got, okay, there's ways to fix that. I would also say sometimes with childbirth, or rather oftentimes with childbirth, and I know many women have experienced this, that their vagina is simply different after they deliver babies. I mean, remember, you're especially if you have a vaginal delivery, right? Baby's coming through there. You're changed. You're a little bit different afterwards, and that certainly can happen even more with more pregnancies, or rather more vaginal deliveries, okay? But the other things that sometimes women can get as we age in terms of our vagina, etc., is we may have more issues with urination. Okay, so we may feel like we have more frequent urination. We may be more prone to having urinary tract, we may be more prone to having urinary tract infections. We also may be more prone to having sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, so it's a good reminder that as we age, we should still be using safe sex practices, okay, and be responsible and smart as we are going about our daily lives and intimacy and things like that. And let me also just say about intimacy, intimacy is not for younger people only. I am in my early 40s, but let me tell you, like, intimacy is for everyone, or should be. It's a very important part of life. It's very important to realize and recognize that no matter what age you are, intimacy is a natural function that serves to help us in so many ways, from emotionally to mood wise, etc. Okay. So I want to just sort of also reiterate the importance of intimacy and connection with others. We also just want to make sure that we're doing it safely, ladies, okay? Because STIs can be, there can be sort of an increased risk of STIs, which has to do, sexually transmitted diseases, which has to do with the changing in the lining of the vagina, the labia, etc., and how our vagina and stuff is changing. And so, yeah, I did talk about more risk of vaginal infections, UTIs, etc. There's a lot of changes potentially as we get older, but I think the most important thing to remember is that, honestly, I've said this before, I think getting older is a blessing. I know it's a blessing. I feel like we're privileged to live longer. Every year that we have on this earth certainly is a blessing. And also, I would have to say, people ask me a lot of times, oh, would you want to be younger if you could? I'm like, heck no. I don't want to go back to those younger days, insecure, worried, stressed out. I mean, not that I don't have that stuff now, but the point being is, there comes a lot of knowledge with age. So even though these are some changes that happen, ladies, as we get older, it's actually, I think, in some ways can be looked at as sort of the beauty of aging. And remember, there are ways to get around these issues: vaginal dryness, loss of elasticity, thinness, etc., urination issues. There are ways to get around it. So make sure you're talking to your doctor, make sure you're talking to your GYN, and just, I don't know, like, having lady parts is a blessing. Let me just say that. So let me know what is going on in your life. Let me know if these are issues you've talked to your doctor about, any things that have helped you. I always ask people to comment about stuff because sometimes what you say actually helps someone else who's reading the comments. But again, I hope this is helpful. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. I'm a practicing family physician. I'm an on-air health expert and video creator. By the way, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do. I invite you to do so. I do daily videos on lots of different stuff, so you'll want to make sure you check those things out. And also consider joining my subscription groups. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen. I'll see you soon.